is just breathe together. So let's just take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Let's do one more like that. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out like you're blowing out birthday candles. Nice. And then we'll add our arms with our breath. So bringing our hands down to your sides and then reach them all the way out and up to the sky and then all the way back down. So let's do our breath. So breathe in, hands reach all the way up. Breathe out, hands come back down. Nice. So now we'll switch our hands. So our hands will go all the way out in front of us, sort of like you're like Frankenstein, and then all the way to the sky and then back down. And we'll do one more. So we'll do two of everything. So breathe in, hands go up. Breathe out, hands come down. All right, nice. And then next, we'll bring our hands like close to our heart, sort of like if you were giving someone a hug and you're like patting them on the back. And then we'll take a deep breath in like this. And then push your hands away from you when you breathe out, like you're pushing something away. Now bring your hands back in, like you're pulling something in close. And then push it away. So like you're pushing that air. And then you can just let your arms relax. And we'll just start to stretch our shoulders out. So pull your shoulders up to your ears, like, you know, like when you shrug and say, I don't know. And then pull them back and then down. And we'll make some circles. So shoulders go forward, up, big circles with your shoulders and back and down. One more circle like this, forward, up, back, down. Nice. And then we'll reverse the circle. So we'll go back, up, forward, down. And one more. Let's go back, up, forward, and down. Nice. And then you could shake out your shoulders if that feels good. Let your arms be like spaghetti. That helps me sometimes, like if I'm feeling like, you know, sort of like nervous or like weird in my body or in my mind, sometimes I just like try to shake it out and then imagine that as I'm shaking it out, all of that like nervous energy is just getting out of my body. Sometimes it makes me feel better. All right, so now from here, we'll just stretch our neck a little bit. So bring your chin down, try to touch your chest. My chin doesn't touch my chest, that's okay. Just bring it close. And then maybe you start to feel a stretch in the back of your neck here. And then we'll just start to bring your ear over to your shoulder. So one ear is close to your shoulder. You could be looking forward at me. This is just gonna stretch the side of your neck. So your head is just like tilted sideways. Like, have you ever seen a dog that's confused and they're like, sort of like that, but now you're just staying on one side. And then we'll bring our head over to the other side, ear to your other shoulder. Nice. And then just notice if you're feeling a stretch there. And then we'll bring our head back up, finding a little twist in our back. So this is really good, like if you're sitting a lot, you know, like doing work or painting or whatever. So we'll just bring one hand back behind you and then bring the other hand to the opposite side knee. So like your hand is to the knee on the other side of your body. And then you can look behind you. Now, if you're in a chair, instead of your hand touching your knee, maybe your hand touches like the armrest right there. And then that could help you twist a little bit more. So sort of like if somebody called your name behind you, you'd turn around and to see what they wanted. And then here, we'll just take a breath together. So take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And then come back to look at me, come back through center. And then we're gonna just twist to the other side. So bring your other hand behind you. Perfect, nice. Other hand to either your knee or like your armrest if you're in a chair. And then maybe look behind you. Maybe like you couldn't see where the person was calling your name from, so you looked on the other side. And then we'll take that deep breath together again. So breathe in and breathe out. And then slowly come back to look at me. We'll bring one hand to your side and to the ground. The other hand, reach all the way up to the sky. And then we're gonna start to bend over to the side of your hand that is on the ground or on your bed or on your chair. Nice, so try to keep that arm up by your head and then try to like reach over your head over to the other side. So sort of looking like a crescent moon or like, you know, like a banana that's curved. And this is just a stretch to your side, and then we'll just do the other side. So come back up, we'll switch hands. Other hands down, other hands up. And then reach that hand really up high and then start to reach over your head towards the other side. Nice. And now we're just stretching the other side. And then we'll come back up. Both your hands could come down. Nice. So if you are in Okay, I'm just gonna stretch out my legs because I can't tell if you guys are sitting in a chair or on the ground. Okay, so if you would like, stretch out your legs if you are on something where you can. If you're in a chair, just stay just as you are because you can also do this in a chair. All right, so with your legs stretched out or knees bent, we're just gonna reach down towards our toes, but first reach up to the sky. And then start to reach your hands forward. If you're in a chair, you can also do this. You can reach down towards your toes. Now here, maybe you do touch your toes, or maybe you just touch your knees or your shins or maybe the ground. And then this is just to help stretch out through our back. Sometimes, you know, when I wake up from like a nap or from sleeping overnight, my back is really tight. So this is a good one to do. It's also a good one to do before you go to sleep. And then we'll lift back up. So wherever you are, we're just gonna start to find circles with our ankles. So first, let's do our right foot. So just start to find big circles, like if there was like a pen attached to your big toe and there was a paper above, you're just trying to draw a circle with your toe. Nice. And then we'll go the other way in the circle. And then we'll switch feet. So now our left foot. So make a circle with your left toes, your entire left foot. Like you're drawing that big circle on a piece of paper that's hovering above your foot magically. And then we'll switch, go the other way. And then you can relax. So I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but if our feet are so small compared to our bodies, it's pretty wild that they can hold us up. Like, have you ever seen like a statue or something? They have to have like a really big base on the bottom so that the statue doesn't fall down, but somehow our feet hold us up. I think that's really cool. So that's why I like to focus a lot on like stretching them or like making circles with our ankles, getting our ankles really strong so that we'll be able to walk or stand, or our feet and our entire body can just support us. All right, so now let's make circles with both feet. Big circles, both toes. Go the other way. Nice. All right, so bending through one of your knees, we're gonna bring your ankle on top of your knee. So if your legs are straight, it would look like an upside down number 4 to you. But if you're sitting down, you'd still have that, the top of the number 4. All right, so your ankle is like on top of your knee or right above your knee. And then you can just stay as you are. Maybe you already feel a stretch. Or you can start to bend over that leg, looking like down towards the ground. Nice. See if you notice what you can feel in your leg. Do you notice a stretch? You notice some pulling? Always, if you feel anything painful, you don't have to do it. All right, so let's sit back up if you're folded over your leg, and then we'll just switch. So that leg goes straight, and the other foot comes on top of your other knee. So now it's a number 4 the opposite way. And then you can stay here. I am already feeling a stretch, especially on this leg. So maybe I'll just stay here, or you can again start to fold over your leg. You don't have to go too far. And if you want, you can always massage your foot instead. And then we'll just sit back up. And then take that foot off of your knee. From here, we're just gonna come onto our hands and knees. But if you don't want to do that, if you are comfortable sitting as you are, I will tell you how to do what we're going to do sitting too. All right, so on our hands and knees, this is called our tabletop because, you know, if someone were to put like pancakes right on your back, it'd be a perfect table for them. So from here, we're going to find what is called cat and cow. And so for your cow, you look up and then you drop your belly. I think your belly is supposed to be sort of like the udders. And then for the cat, you arch your spine like that cat and look down at your knees. So if you're sitting, I'm just going to show what you could do sitting really quick. So if you're sitting, you can bring your hands to your knees. Your cow, again, you'd bring your belly forward like those udders and like moo at the moon. And then for the cat, you'd round your spine still, just like that angry cat. So we're just going to do that 2 more times. So look up, drop your belly, that's cow. And then round like that angry black Halloween cat. And we'll do that 1 more time. This time, take a deep breath in when you come to your cow, looking up, belly down. And then breathe out when you come to your angry cat. And then we'll come back. So now to just stretch out our toes and our feet a little bit. Let me get a little closer to the camera in case you can't see me. So right now, the tops of my feet are on the ground, but now let's tuck your toes under and then just sit down towards your feet. And this might add some pressure to your feet. Now, if you don't want to come to the ground, that's okay. Another option is to massage your feet here with your hands. All right, so here, your hands can stay on the ground. That helps so that you're not putting all of your weight on your feet. Sometimes that's too much. But if it's not too much, maybe you just come to sit all the way like this. Some days this does not feel good for me. The reason that we'll do this pose in yoga is because we're putting our feet like into shoes all the time. That's not really good for our feet. But we have to do it because we have to, leave the house sometimes. I guess not right now, we don't have to, but. And so when we come home, we can always do this, show our feet some love. So if you don't feel too silly, I would like us all to say, thank you, feet. And I know it feels silly, but sometimes it's just good to tell our body thank you for the things that it does for us. And then when you're ready, just start to lift up off of your feet and then untuck your toes. And sometimes it feels good to like tap your toes on the ground like this. And when you're ready, we'll just settle back down. And then we are just going to come to stand from here if you would like to. So you just can start to walk yourself onto your feet. If I will also tell you how to do these poses if you don't want to stand up, if you want to sit down. All right, so from here, we're gonna find our lunge. So let's bring our left foot just right back behind you. And then that back leg is gonna be straight, the front leg is gonna be bent. Now, if you want to do this sitting down, I should have grabbed actually I have a chair right here. One second. If you want to do this sitting down, you always can. You just turn your leg to one side and the other leg back behind you. All right, so I'm going to go back to standing. All right, so one of your legs is going to be bent, your front one. Your back one is going to be straight. This is called our lunge. And then start to bring your hands up to the sky. Let's take a deep breath together. So breathe in, breathe out. And we'll just start moving our arms with our breath. So take a deep breath in, breathe out, hands come back behind you. These are called airplane arms. So looking forward like you're just flying an airplane. And then when you breathe in, hands go back up to the sky. Breathe out, hands come back. Airplane arms. Breathe in, hands go back up. Just one more time. Breathe out, hands come back. And then we'll bring our hands back to the sky and step that foot back forward, or just turn your feet if you're sitting down. And then we'll switch. So the other leg comes back behind you. The front leg is bent. So sort of like you would taking like a really big step. And again, if you're sitting down, just the other leg will be out to the side bent. And then the other leg will be back behind you, sort of turning your body so you're looking over to the side. And then we'll just, again, find our breath. So take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, hands sweep back behind you. Breathe in, hands go up. Breathe out, hands come back. Just one more. Breathe in, hands reach up. Breathe out, hands reach back. And then we'll bring our hands back up to reaching to the sky. And then just step that back foot back forward. And then we'll just come back to standing or just sitting normally. Perfect. And then my favorite is our tree pose. So I'm sure you know what our tree pose looks like. Nice. I don't even have to tell you, but I just will just in case. All right. So you have lots of options. You just start to bend one knee and then turn it out to the side. Your foot can stay on the ground, just resting along your ankle. You can also lift your foot up, so it's just below your knee. You can also grab your foot, maybe lift it up a little bit higher, see if that's comfortable. If it's not, just bring it right back down. Your hands could come out to your sides. They can come to your heart. They could reach all the way up to the sky, like you're growing your branches. Really pretend that your whole body is that tree. Nice. And then today's pretty breezy. So maybe the breeze starts to get into your leaves and you start to sway side to side. And sometimes trees fall, right? But they can grow right back. So it's okay if you fall for a little bit and you can come right back into it. That's okay. That's why trees are so cool. And that's why this is one of my favorite poses. And then if you want, for a little extra challenge, maybe try to close your eyes for just like 1 second, maybe open them back up. And again, if you fall, that's okay. All right, we'll take one breath together and then we'll switch. So deep breath in, deep breath out. And then let your foot down, shake it out. You can shake your arms, you can jump up and down, shaking out all of that energy. And then we'll do the other side. So when you're ready, we'll bend the other knee, turn the knee out. Your foot can rest on your ankle. You can lift your foot up so it's just below your knee. Or if you want to try, you can lift your foot up so it's above your knee. And then your arms, you find your balance. Maybe your arms are at your side for balance. Maybe they're at your heart, and maybe you start to grow your branches up and open. And maybe find your balance. If you keep falling out, that's okay. You can tell yourself that's okay. It's just tree pose. What's cool about yoga is that we get to fall and we get to make mistakes and we get to play, and it doesn't matter. It's just for fun. And when we fall out, that just gives us some practice to tell ourselves that's okay. All right, so your toes can be on the ground again, like sort of like a kickstand for your tree. That just means your base is wider. All right, and then maybe if you'd like, it's breezy. Nah, beautiful. Maybe it's like really breezy, whoa, or maybe it's just slightly breezy. Nice, I love to see your guys' trees. All right, I'm gonna be a cactus. So maybe if you wanna be a cactus, we're just gonna bend right at the elbows. If you've ever seen a cactus, you know those, their arms are like half squares, sort of. Or maybe your cactus arms are like uneven a little bit. And then we'll just be here for a breath together. Breathe in, breathe out. And then let your arms down. Take your leg off, shake it out again if you'd like. Shake your arms like spaghetti. Kick your legs out. Wiggle your body if that feels good. And then we'll just come back. All right, we have one more pose standing. I don't know if you've heard about this one, but it is called warrior pose. I also like this pose because it shows us that we can be strong, but we can also be peaceful at the same time. All right, so one of your feet, let's actually bring both of our feet out wide. And then our legs are just gonna stay like this. So like your legs are sort of like a wide triangle. So turn one of your toes to face forward. So your toes are in the opposite directions. One's facing forward, one is facing towards me. The one that is facing the other way, so not towards me, bend that knee. Nice. So the toes that are pointing towards me, that leg is straight. And then your arms come out to your side, sort of like you were, you know, like if you wrote a capital T, your arms would be that T. Nice. This is our warrior pose. So that one knee is bent, the back leg is straight. And now, if you would like, show me your muscles. Show me the strong warrior that you are. Sometimes it's even fun. Like, I can't hear you. Nobody can hear you if you like to make like a little growl. I felt a little silly because you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you. All right, so we showed our muscles, but now show your peace signs, just 2 fingers up, because we can be peaceful warriors too. And then if you'd like, try to make a little heart with your hands right by your heart, because we are also loving warriors. Nice, and then we'll bring our arms back out to that T. Bring your hand down to your back straight leg, and then the other hand reaches up to the sky. This is just our reverse warrior. And then we'll come back, both hands back to that T. Bring your elbow down towards that knee that's bent, and then now the other hand goes to the sky. These are just different ways to do our warrior pose. And then we'll lift back up. You could let your arms go, and then we'll turn your toes that are facing the side towards me. So now both of your toes are facing towards me, towards the camera. Turn your other toes now to face sideways. So we're just gonna do warrior on the other side. And then the toes that are pointing away from me, bend that knee. Your arms come back out to that T. So in yoga, we always do both sides because we have to be balanced, right? All right, so now on this side, we'll show our strength. So show your muscles here, you're strong warrior, but our strength also comes from being peaceful. So show us your peace signs. Peaceful warrior, beautiful. And then maybe make a little heart with your hands. It doesn't have to be a perfect heart because we're also loving warriors. And bring your arms back out to that T. We'll bring our hand to that back leg, the other hand up to the sky. This is our reverse. Back to our T. Bring your elbow down to your bent knee, the other hand to the sky. And then we'll lift back up, straighten your leg, and then turn both your toes so they're facing me. And then just step your feet back together, just so you're standing normally. Beautiful. And then we'll just start to move our arms a little bit. So just as we did it in the beginning with our breath. So let's bring our hands out and reach all the way to the sky. Breathe in, breathe out, hands down. One more time like that. Breathe in, hands go out and up. Breathe out, hands come down. All right, just like we did in the beginning. So hands go forward now, like Frankenstein, and then up to the sky. Breathe in, breathe out, hands come down, like you're painting a wall in front of you with your hands. One more time. Breathe in, hands go forward and up. Breathe out, hands come forward and down. Nice. So now bring your hands close to your heart, like you were giving somebody a hug and like patting them on the back. And we'll take a breath in. Breathe out, push your hands away from you. One more. Breathe in, hands forward. Breathe out, push. Nice. And then bring your hands down. One more. So like you're scooping something up, like right around like where your waist is. So like you're picking something up and then you'll pull it up to right at where your heart is and then push it back down. One more. Breathe in, scoop it up towards your heart. Breathe out, push it back down. Nice. And then, so I'm standing with my feet pretty close. If you were like me, just step them out a little bit. And then we'll just start to swing our arms side to side. So let your arms swing as your whole upper body sort of turns. If you've ever seen, there used to be like this little like helicopter thing when I was little that you'd pull and then it'd like fly up because it was, the top was spinning really fast. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but that's what it reminds me of. And then slowly make your circle smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller till you come right back. Nice. And then we're just going to sit back down. So however it is easy for you to sit back down, you could sit wherever your chair, your bed, the ground, like I am. I'm going to move the camera a little bit so that you could see me a little bit better. All right, so now we're sitting back down. There is this way of massage that is a little, I'm just going to explain it to you. So like if you've ever, if you type on a computer, like your fingers go like this, right? So we're just going to do this right to our forehead. So really lightly. So bringing your fingers up to your foreheads and just start to tap really softly. Maybe in your head, can you hear the like click, 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 sort of like you're typing on your brain. And you can move your fingers all around. So all around your forehead, all to your eyebrows, to your temples, to where your hair is, right above your ears. Keep typing, type, 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 type. Nice. And bring your fingers back to the back of your neck, just typing on the back of your neck here. Type, 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 type. And then bring your fingers forward. So right on your jaw, right where like your chin is, type, 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 type right on your chin. Just type, 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 type. And then you know where your cheeks are, type right where your cheeks are, type, 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 type. And then your nose is really small, so you can only type with 2 fingers, type, type. And then right below your nose, so right above your upper lip, type, type, type. Back down to your chin, back down to your neck, type on your neck here. Nice. Then you can use one hand to tap right on your shoulders. Type all the way down your arm, sort of like you're playing piano now, I guess. And then type your other arm. Nice, and then shake it out. So I know it feels not really like what you know a massage to be, but sometimes like if you have a headache, it is good to just try that. Maybe see if that works next time you have a little headache. Just start to like type right on your forehead and right on your temples. All right, beautiful. So we'll just take another moment to I would let you don't have to share with me this time, but to think of one more thing that you do that helps make you feel calm. So I'll just take a second to think something different from the first time. What else makes you feel happy or calm? And you don't have to share with me for this one, but I will share mine. So one thing that I thought about that makes me feel really happy is when I get to play with pets. So like if I get to see a puppy or a cat or a dog and I just get to pet them or get to snuggle them, that makes me feel really happy and really calm. And if you want to share, you can. Okay. All right. So I just like to take those little breaks because sometimes just thinking about the things that make me happy also make me sort of happy. All right. So we'll find a little bit more movement before we get to do our rest, our do nothing pose. So now we're just sitting down. You guys are both sitting down, not on the floor. So I will adjust to find some poses that we can do where we're just sitting like in chairs. Okay, so in our chair, let me find my chair too. All right, so from here, we're just gonna start to lift our heels and drop them. So lift your knees, coming high onto tiptoes, and then drop them down. We'll do that 3 times. So lift your heels, drop them down. One more, lift your heels, and then drop them down. And now we're just gonna lift our heels and then start to find circles on your toes. So now your knee is moving instead of your toes when we were making those circles. If you've ever heard of a dance, like the stanky leg, that's sort of what it reminds me of. All right, try to go the other way, other circle. Nice, and then we'll switch. So other heel lifts and then start to make big circles with that foot and that knee. Finding those big circles and reverse, go the other way, other direction. There we go. And then relax. All right, so now with our wrists, so bring your hand out and then we'll find circles with our hands. Go the other way circle. And let's do our other hand. Circles with that other hand. Other way. Nice, and then you can let that hand relax. Now bring your hands together, interlacing your fingers together, like you're holding your own hand. And then we'll start to find big circles with both of our hands together. See if you could go the other way in the circle. I know it's not real, mine's not a perfect circle. It's a pretty weird circle, so that's okay. And then we'll just shake our hands out. Shake them out. Nice. And then bring your hands together into fists. And then we're just gonna start to flick our hands forward like you have water on your fingertips. So just flick them forward and then come back. Flick, back. Yes, nice. And then we'll relax. And then one more thing for our wrist. So bring your hand out in front of you and then let your fingers go down. And then use your other hand to grab that hand. And so then you're just stretching, pulling that hand back. And then stretching like through the top of your wrist, the top of your arm. And then let that go. And instead of your fingers down, put them up. So sort of like you're about to give someone a high five. And then use your other hand to grab your hand and sort of pull it back a little bit. You don't have to pull it back a lot. It probably won't go back a lot. That's what our wrists do. But just now stretching the other way. Nice. And then we'll switch hands. So let that hand go. The other fingers go forward and then down. Use your hand to pull your hand back. Now stretching through the top of your wrist. Yeah. And then when you're ready, let's switch. So let go of that hand and then turn your fingers up like you're about to give someone a high five. Use your other hand to pull that hand back towards your face. There we go. And then you could relax. You could shake it out again if it feels good. Or make circles. All right, so let's now find a little stretch with our legs. So if this feels good, you can try it. We're just gonna start to bring one knee up close to our chest. So that foot is gonna lift up and you can bring your hand to your knee and then just like pull it in close. Try to sit up really nice and tall. Your knee doesn't have to come that close to you. And then we'll let it back down. And then we'll do the other knee. Pull that knee in. And then we'll let that leg back down. I don't know if we have ever done what are called sun salutations before, but we can do them here sitting. So we'll just start to do several movements all together. And so we'll start with your hands on your knees. This is where we start. Number 2 is bringing your hands all the way up to the sky. Number 3 is reaching down towards your toes. 4 is lifting up to your knee. Number 5 is back to your toes. And number 6 is reaching all the way back up to the sky. And we only have one more. So number 7, your hands come to your hearts, like hands together. Nice. So we only have 7. So we'll restart back at 1. 1 is hands on your knees. 2, hands reach up to the sky. 3, hands to your toes. 4, hands to your knees. 5, hands to your toes. 6, hands to the sky. 7, hands to your hearts. Perfect. So we've done it twice. Let's do it 2 more times. So number 1, hands to your knees. If you'd like to do this with your breathing now. So number 1, hands to your knees. Breathe in, hands to the sky. 2. Breathe out, hands to your feet. Breathe in, hands to knees. Breathe out, hands to toes. Breathe in, hands to the sky. And breathe out, hands to your heart. Nice. We've already done that 3 times and we're only doing it 4. So one more time. Number 1, hands to your knees. Breathe in, hands to the sky. Breathe out, hands to your toes. Reach down. Hands to your knees. Hands to your toes. 2 more. Hands to the sky. And then hands to your heart. That's the last one. Nice. And then we'll just let your arms rest back down. Now, bringing our arms all the way open, like you're about to give someone a really big hug. And then we're going to give ourselves that hug. So cross your arms over each other, bring your hands to your shoulders, give yourself that squeeze. So this is good. I like this because it is like giving yourself a hug, but it is also a good stretch for your shoulders and for your back. Nice. So we'll do that again. So look at where your arms are, which one's on top, because next time we're going to do the opposite one on top. So open your arms back up and then cross your arms again, opposite way. Nice. If you can remember. If you can't remember, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Give yourself that tight squeeze and then let go. Nice. So now that is part of our eagle pose. So if you'd like to try our eagle pose, we're going to add that to our legs now. So just as our arms were crossed, we're just going to cross our legs. So lift up your leg and bring it over the other, just like you're crossing your legs, like, you know, you're sitting at a dinner or something, or it just feels good. All right. So you can stay with your legs crossed like this, or if you'd like, if it feels better, to bring your toes to the ground, or you can try, this one doesn't feel good for me, but trying to bring your foot around the back of your leg, that doesn't feel good for me, so I'm not going to try it. All right, so your leg is crossed, and then we'll bring our arms back out to that, like you're giving someone a hug, and then give yourself that hug. Nice. So this is our eagle pose. So we'll just take 2 breaths together. Breathe in, breathe out. One more, deep breath in, make it slow. And slow breath out for 3, 2, 1, and relax your arms. Take your leg off, and we'll do the other leg on top. Sometimes it helps if you lift your leg up with your hand, especially, you know, if you're feeling, your legs are feeling tight today. All right, so the other leg is crossed over now, if you have space. And then we'll give ourselves a hug because, you know, we always have to do the opposite side. And then give yourself that hug. Cross your arms. Nice. Whichever, you could do your one arm on top. You could always switch which arm is on top. Make sure you're comfortable. And again, we have 2 breaths together. So deep breath in, breathe in, breathe out for 2, 1. Breathe in deep. Now breathe out for 3, 2, 1, and relax. Take your leg off. You could shake your legs, bounce your feet up and down, shake your arms. All right, so it is just about time for us to do our final stretches before we get to our do nothing pose, also known as our shavasana or our last pose. So for our last stretching poses, we'll just do a couple that we did in the beginning. So if you'd like, lift up your foot and put your foot on top of your knee. So this is another way some people cross their legs. You know, some people cross them all the way, some people do it like this. And then you can just sit like this, or again, you can start to fold over your legs, looking towards the ground. My arms feel good when they're resting on my legs, but you can also like reach them forward, let your arms fall. And then we'll take that deep breath. When we breathe, we're able to get deeper into stretches. So take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then lift back up. And we'll switch. So take that foot off and lift your other foot on, bringing it on top of that knee. Perfect. Nice. Okay. And then from here, you can just say sitting just as you are. I already feel this stretch in my leg, or you can start to fold over your leg. See if that feels okay. If anything doesn't feel okay, find something else that feels better. Finding something that feels good in your body, that is you doing yoga. So you do yoga all the time. And then we'll lift back up, take your foot off of your knee, finding our twist. So bring one hand back behind you. If you're sitting on a chair, you might have to sit up a little bit, maybe scoot forward, just so you have space. I'll bring my hand back behind me. You could even bring your hand to the back of your chair. And then your other hand goes over to the other armrest or to your knee. Nice, there we go. And then you'll like look back behind you, like somebody behind you just said something to you and you want to look at them. This is getting a nice twist in our back, our spine, that muscle that supports our entire back, or pretty much our whole body. We want it to be able to move freely as we get older. So this is always good to do. And then we'll do the other side when you're ready. So come to look forward, bring your other hand back behind you, and then the other hand over to the opposite armrest or to your knee. So that back hand can either be on the seat behind you, on the back of the chair, and then maybe you look back behind you. Somebody just said your name. When you're ready, you can let go and then come back to look forward. Let's take 3 slow breaths together. So I'm going to count to 3 when we breathe in, and I'm going to count to 3 when we breathe out. So you can try to make your breaths last for 3 seconds, but if they don't, that's okay. All right, so we're going to breathe in for 3, 2, 1, and breathe out for 3, 2, 1. One more time. Breathe in, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out, 3, 2, 1. All right, if you would like to try, I'm going to count to 4 this time for our breathing in and for our breathing out. So if you want to try it, so let's breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. The reason why we in yoga practice breathing so much is because when we breathe deeply, it's telling our body and telling our brain that it is okay to be calm, that we are safe where we are. We can lower our heartbeat. So like, you know, sometimes when you get nervous, your heart raises, but also like say you're like running somewhere or doing something really active, your heart starts to go faster. So when you take those deep breaths, you're able to calm down your heartbeat too. And so you can always practice that even when you're not in a yoga class. So if you're ready, we're going to do our do nothing pose for just about 1 minute. So in our do nothing pose, you could choose to sit. So I would like, if you are choosing to sit, make sure that you're comfortable. So you can lean back in your chair. You can let your legs relax. If you don't want to sit in your do nothing pose, you can always lay down, because once we are done with our do nothing pose, you can always turn off the camera and just stay there. All right, so if you can, let your head relax too. Maybe if you have like a rest for your head, you can let your head fall back. And you can also close your eyes, or you can keep them open in our do nothing pose. So for the next minute, once I stop talking, our do nothing pose is where we just do nothing. We don't talk. We let our bodies rest so we don't move. You can breathe normally. You don't have to take deep breaths if they're not comfortable. Just let yourself breathe deeply or shallowly. And you could just think about whatever's in your brain, any thoughts that come up. Okay, so for the next minute, I will be quiet too, and then I will tell you when we are done with our do nothing pose. Nice. So from your do nothing pose, if you're just sitting there doing nothing, start to wiggle your fingers, start to wiggle your toes, start to move your arms and your legs again. And then you could stay relaxed however you're sitting, or you could start to sit yourself back up. Our do nothing pose is just a way for us to just let our bodies and our minds be calm, because when we're doing stuff all day, we're not really letting ourselves just be calm. We're just thinking about things that we have to do next. All right, so all together again, I would like us just to end with a deep breath before we again think about how we're feeling. So let's just take it one deep breath in, deep breath out.